Chair, Conference. Zahid Ali, Wolverhampton Southwest CLP. I'd like to second Composite 9. For those of you unaware, my constituency, Wolverhampton Southwest, it was the constituency 50 years ago represented by Enoch Powell when he made his Rivers of Blood speech. Now, 50 years later, it's represented by a black, female Labour MP. Oops. Do I get extra time? The arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice. And that gives us hope in the Palestinian activist movement and the Palestinian solidarity movement. Eleanor is a nurse, but I doubt in her career that on the mean streets of the Midlands she ever had to face being shot at by a professional, trained army sniper. Unfortunately, that is the fate that befell Razan al-Najjar, a young female Palestinian medic who was shot dead during the March of Return. Razan will not be forgotten. We will remember her in our hearts and in our actions. But she was just one of many hundreds killed and many thousands injured, including children, medics, and journalists. 6 weeks ago, on Friday the 10th of August, a volunteer Palestinian medic, Abdullah al-Khatati, 22 years old, was shot by an Israeli sniper while treating another man's bullet wounds. Abdullah was less than a year away from completing his psychology degree. Both he and his patient, Ali Said al-Aboud, died from their wounds. 1 week later, on Friday the 17th of August, another Palestinian, Karim Ahmed Ali Fateh, was fatally shot in the head when Israeli soldiers opened fire on unarmed protesters near the Gaza boundary fence. More than 100 others were shot with live ammunition on that day alone. The Great Return March is a broad-based and popular protest by the Palestinians in order to make their voices heard. They are willing to die to be heard. Conference, we want to send them this message that we hear them. When an Israeli government spokesperson was asked, why are unarmed protesters being targeted, she responded, we can't put them all in jail. Conference, the reality is that Gaza is an open-air jail. The illegal siege and blockade must be lifted.
Delegate, can you start wrapping up, please?
The Israeli military can do this with impunity only if we remain silent. We must stand with the Palestinian people, not least because our own government is complicit when it sells arms to Israel, including sniper rifles, like those used to shoot Abdullah and Karim. Join us in the call for an international investigation into Israel's use of force against Palestinian demonstrators and for arms sales to Israel to be frozen. We must stand shoulder to shoulder with the international community and the Palestinian people in calling for an immediate, unconditional end to the heartbreaking blockade of Gaza, which is aiming to destroy Palestinians. I second the motion.